meeting is open at 3:12.
I will call the meeting
Oh, I'm
at
sorry.
3:12.
Sorry, beg your pardon,
Call the
sir.
meeting to order. This is
Yes.
the regular monthly meeting of the Berlin Cemetery Commission. And your image and your words are subject to, well, they will be recorded. They are being recorded, and they will be part of the record that will be available to the public afterwards. And so here we are. You want to do bills?
You can
What,
start
can we
with
do-
that one, and I gotta go get.
Can we do
I got-
minutes first? Minutes from the previous
Oh,
meeting? Let's do
well,
that
I
first.
gotta.
Yeah.
He's
I
not quite
gotta
ready?
go pick something up.
He's got to
Okay.
get something else, so.
So I'm just turning pages and finding my place.
Well, I'm going to talk about these bills while I'm here. I've got the bill from the superintendent's pay, and 2 full burials and 1 ashes burial, for a total of $819. You don't have to write that down.
Bill's review, I always write
And
that.
then
Excuse me.
we have a bill for $975 from Roger Wheeler and Sons, which is the 2 graves, and some material for that, and then it was also to backfill a grave, place some loam in the neighbor's lot. We had been a couple of places that things sunk after the winter, so
Right.
he had a couple of those things to take care of.
So we had that discussion last time, and this
Yeah.
is the actual completion.
Yeah, and we have have it out to a power bill for some parts.
Yep, it's
That is. oh,
one
yeah,
of
there
the
it
pulleys
is.
for the belts.
It's on the back of this, yeah.
It's a pulley for the belt.
3964, okay. And our new mower passed
Yes.
at the town meeting, so we'll have the third mower will be replaced with a new gas mower.
I got startled, I messed up my name.
Yeah.
This is from last month.
And this is last month's bill, which we
Didn't meet.
didn't get to our meeting, so we didn't get it in. None of us got to it. So.
That was in the,
Okay, yeah, all right, I'll look at it. Okay, they sent us a whole thing on
I have one more bill coming, but it didn't
that. Yeah,
get made out for, Brian hadn't made it out yet for tires.
for what?
For tires,
Oh,
for
okay,
the landscape trail. We had to buy tires, 2, they wouldn't hold air because they were old, dry rotted.
Yeah.
And another one I had that I had gotten, the sidewall blew out on it. So I just went down and ordered 4 new ones, and they're the heavier 4-ply
Yeah, the
trailer
trailer-
tires,
the trailer
actual
tires.
carry that, so they'll support the weight of the 2
Yeah.
mowers when they have it on there, and they're brand new, so.
okay. Well, on that, they probably last us 10 or 15 years.
Probably might last all of us.
Not like outlast us, anyway.
Probably about the time they get quit, the probably trailer will be done too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, that's all right. And we have this as a lot of these things are way behind because they're still trying to clean up last year.
Oh, I know they are. I know they are.
Oh, my God.
And the water's on down at the cemetery,
Oh, good.
and the bucket's up at North,
That's good.
Yeah,
and everything seemed to charge good this year, so no problems. no problems
Good,
so far,
good,
so.
good. Well, that's good. So we're set for Memorial Day that way.
Yeah.
And the flowers are ordered for Saturday.
Yeah, I got a confirmation from Michael Saturday that they'll be there at 9 o'clock Saturday morning.
Yeah. We can go play down there on Saturday.
I told him the same amount as we got last
Yeah.
year, same numbers,
Yeah.
so.
Ready for the minutes?
Yes, we're ready for the minutes of the, what was it, the March meeting.
Yes. Or, yeah, March meeting.
April, we didn't.
April's are easy.
Actually,
March meeting minutes.
And I did get sworn in too.
Oh, good, I was gonna ask if you'd done
No, I
that.
went, saw Eloise and signed the book and got
If you-
sworn in,
so
If you
actually,
couldn't, I would've done it.
so, okay.
I have the minutes for February and March.
All right,
And I don't know why I don't remember why we didn't review February in March, but here it goes.
February, all right.
So, February 18th, we opened the meeting at 3:08 PM. Barry and I were present, and Robert was not there. We reviewed and signed January's bills.
Which he had provided to us.
Right. We reviewed lawnmower purchasing planning for presenting to the capital planning meeting, which was then scheduled for 7 PM on February 27th.
Yeah.
Minutes were read for January 21st, 2025, read and approved. And then we had a discussion on the 2024 town report regarding our upcoming town meeting on 5/1. Barry said
We
that
don't.
the cemetery report was completed and submitted
Yeah.
after the last meeting. And then we discussed the fact that Robert did a full burial and discovered 16 inches of frost.
Yes.
This was as of February 18th. Turning pages, hold on. Paul Wheeler, our subcontractor for burials, reports that St. Michael's at the same time, same week, had 20 inches of frost. And then we discussed that Robert may delay future burials until the ground thaws in a few weeks, per his discretion. And Barry was recommending that immediate burials be suspended until further notice, to which I agreed. And we motioned to adjourn, seconded, and voted unanimously at 3:22 PM. That was February.
Okay.
March 18th, 2025, the meeting opened at 3:08 PM. Barry chair, Brenna clerk, Robert superintendent. We did bills review for February of 2025 and signed. Discussion of the frost thaw, 13 to 16 inches was causing settling. Settling of new graves, and was going to require repairs to loam and the finish, because of course it had sunk down.
Yeah.
We reviewed pictures of north taken on 317, including a downed tree to be removed when the ground is firm enough for the loader. And Robert submitted that he cut up a fallen tree at south. Motion to adjourn, seconded and voted unanimously at 3:25 PM.
Any additions or corrections to either of those?
Nope.
So I will declare them accepted as read. And we'll go on to this week's business. Memorial Day stuff, we're gonna do plants on Saturday. We've got, I've got the map and the list. If I can manage to get there a little early, I will, so I can get some plants out in the places
Put
so
it-
everybody can work.
Set out. Yeah, that's a good idea.
The big thing is that it takes a while to get them out. And
So I've put
Other
it,
can be digging holes if they've got the plants in the right place.
right, I've put it in my calendar for 8:30, is that,
Ooh,
is
well.
that when I should be getting my coffee down my throat and then
Yeah,
walk
well,
over for
yeah,
9? I mean,
Because
what-
he
what-
said Michael said he'd deliver them at 9,
He usually is there well before
which
that.
is usually there early. He says 9 because I think it gives him a grace period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm sure if he's got a delivery going out, they're
Yeah.
on the truck and they get dropped off.
yeah.
Well, you know I have doggies, so it's touch and go, whether they let me, they run out in the yard and do their thing and come back in and leave me alone, or whether they'll bounce around and bother me while I try to get out the door. So I'll try to be there.
Yes.
Between 8:30 and 9, I'll do my best.
Start
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but sometimes I'm up at 6:30 and they're happy to go out then, but if they won't settle down, I'll try. I'll try for it.
Well,
Try
life
for it.
is like that.
Yeah, life is like that.
Life is like that.
They are
Okay.
pretty cute.
Do we have any other new problems?
No. Well, I changed the lock. I put a new hasp on the
So-
building itself that actually got salvaged off the building they took down off of South Common. It was the exact same thing.
Oh.
So it was a matter of just swapping it in and out so it was easy. But that's back
Back and locked.
No cement block there for the winter, so. Well, nobody was getting in, that's for sure.
Nobody was getting in that way, and
And that's
it
what
was all right.
that's what mattered.
Yeah,
And all the trees at North that were, the two of them, they all cleaned up and the highway finished, they took, 4 trees down up there that were died.
there?
Yep. And,
a couple of them are in the line.
there's 4 of them in the line.
Yeah, okay, 4 of them in the line.
2 on the front side and 2 on the back side.
Yeah.
And they also finished trimming all around underneath the trees so that now they can mow.
Yeah.
So none of the garbage stuff that are coming
It's
up
gone,
underneath.
and it's
Yeah.
now,
Excellent.
it's so they can mow. It's a lot easier if it's safer for them to mow.
Oh, yeah.
Or we were losing an eyeball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And,
took some of the,
So did they limb up some of the dead ones the dead limbs on the ones that were still alive? Did they
Yeah.
do that or?
they did some of that, and they've got them up so that when they're on the mower, they're not gonna get,
they're not gonna run into.
Yeah.
they can
pull
stand
off
it,
their
because they
hat.
use,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
half or take their eye out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they cut all those mulberries and stuff, so it's right up,
Awesome.
everything's out from underneath, so it's,
Awesome.
and eventually the grass will fill right back in. So, and south, they took a bunch of shrubs out. We took a bunch of shrubs out. I had marked.
Which we had talked about in the fall.
Yes, and other
Last
times,
year.
and I had marked, and I was down there Wednesday with them and spent the day and took out a lot of overgrown stuff. Some of the stuff was 25 feet high,
Yeah.
20 feet high, and
Yeah,
there's still a little bit more to do down there, and we're gonna do some more after on the bank, but it's much better down there, and the only shrubs that really got, the only shrubs that got left is the ones that people take care of.
yeah.
That's all that, the
People
ones
are
that,
taking care of them, it's fine.
That's fine,
And
and,
they get
Right.
overgrown and they're not taking care of them, that's another
so
matter.
that's,
What about that one behind Sarah's grave? That just curious. Is
I'm
that?
still thinking about that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. People kind of like that.
I
If we
know
could-
they do, I do myself.
If we
and
trim it a little bonsai, maybe we can just.
I
they
left
carve-
it for now.
Yeah,
I haven't decided.
I kind of like it. Yeah,
Wow.
but it has to be maintained to
It
do
has
that.
to be
nice-
so they can work around. Once it gets too
Right.
hard to work around, it's not good. And there was one on the other side I was gonna shave it up, and I kept looking at it, and it was left there because there was a couple of people that went to visit their graves and weren't very good about staying on the grass road. So instead of running, I was left, and I just looked at it and I says, "Get it out of here." So we took it out and just.
Yeah, you can do a sign stanch and stay off the grass if you need to.
Put a
right?
concrete post there,
Yeah,
too.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
I'll have to come down and look.
took all the stuff out front as you go in the main
Oh,
by
good.
the fountain, took all those overgrown bushes out, and got rid of those and trimmed up on the north slope. There was a couple of ash trees there growing up amongst the other stuff.
Yes.
We left the ash trees because Fred and I talked about it. He says, leave them. It won't look barren, and cut everything around it.
Took the shrubs and
he says if they die, we'll take them down then. They're ash, but if they could live 40 more years too.
Yeah.
And we didn't do much near the tomb because there's something in there that blooms, and I want to make sure I like it.
Oh.
It's a hydrangea that's stuffed in there somewhere, and I
Make
want to make
sure
sure
that-
I get the hydrangea. Don't cut the
Did you save
hydrangea.
that one?
You know,
Yep.
Interesting.
Everything else is going to probably come
So-
out, but the hydrangea comes out in the fall, and
Looks nice.
I should have put a tag on it, but I didn't. But
They could be down. No, they're spray painting.
they're not doing.
Curbs
No,
right
they
now,
they
today.
usually they talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talk to them about.
Good,
what
good, good.
I've told them
Good.
That's why we stopped in that corner. I says I don't know which one exactly it is. And I
Right.
don't want to. And they said, well, it'll bloom.
Yeah.
So we'll know.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was a lot. And the mulberry, the weeping mulberry, looks a lot better too. Looks
I-
a lot healthier this year
Oh,
than
it
it
does.
has in years.
Oh, yeah.
And it's come back even better than it did last year.
Which I knew when we got the dead wood out of it that it would be able to.
It would do
be
better,
able
yeah.
to take off,
Yeah.
and then, just being me, I've been stopping by and pulling up any bittersweet that's still trying to hang on, and I will
Yeah.
continue to do that because that's the key. Is just stop it from growing.
Yeah. It will.
Well, it'll eventually die out. I think Buddy said if
If
it doesn't bloom for 3 years, pretty much it'll die out in 3 years.
This is true. Yeah, it has to have green stuff. If it doesn't have leaves, it
Eventually dies.
Yeah. Yeah, the bigger the root, the more likely that is to happen because the great big roots need a lot of vegetation.
Yeah.
And I've even had it where if you just cut that, it doesn't,
It can't
you
do
just
it.
can't do it.
It doesn't have enough to energy for it to
Sometimes the
go.
ends will sprout things, but if
Yeah.
you just keep pulling those off,
A lot of times you can get over, if you just over with the mower too.
Yeah.
If the mower can get up there,
right.
they won't.
Yeah, but we have that problem that right there is the slope.
Yeah.
But I don't mind stopping and.
But I'm just
and-
saying.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I'm
if
right
they-
there. I
they
live right
weed
there.
whack it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it makes a difference.
Yeah, no,
too.
it's way better. It looks happy
And we-
again.
And we took, yeah.
So what about the back corner on, bordering Tim's side? It wasn't there like something overgrown either
It's gone.
oh good.
Right on the wall towards, right as the straight wall. That's
It's on
gone
the
too.
wall,
We were
yeah.
standing, working on the other side, and I says, yeah,
Good.
it's one of those, because it's
Perfect.
got it spikes on it, nasty
Mm-hmm.
spikes. And so with that,
Hawthorn or
gone.
some cherry or something with spikes on it.
well, it was, Everett called
Right.
it Johnny Jump Up. I don't know. That's what he called it.
Oh.
You cut it in the root and the inside's yellow.
Oh, it's an invasive species. It's
Well, it's
yeah.
been around forever. My
It
mother.
has red berries.
Oh,
Yeah, I know
okay.
what it is.
Yeah,
And they're nasty. You get one of those in you, and
yeah,
it'll get infected.
yeah. Well, like I
Yeah,
said,
they're nasty.
Everett called them Johnny Jump Ups.
Yeah, it's not the name. It's,
Well, it could be the name they used them at the farm. 'cause
Sure,
they
sure,
probably
sure.
jumped
What
up
the heck is it?
Everywhere.
Anyway, I'll think of it.
Alrighty.
So it sounds great. I'm elated.
Oh. you
How
should-
about paving? Anything new on paving?
Not yet.
Not yet. We're early.
I don't know how long that contract's got to run, whether it runs through the whole season this year, the whole paving season, or whether
That'll be a mess.
it probably does.
I'll ask, because I know they're paving up on
They're
Crosby.
going to work
Getting
on
ready to do Crosby.
Right.
Yeah,
June 2nd to the 20th, the road's gonna be closed up there.
yeah.
Good.
Crosby and Lyman, so.
Yeah, let's It's kind of messy up there. Good, that's
It
good.
was before, and then with the bridge closed, it's made it
A lot
even
more
worse.
traffic, sure.
And
Well, I know in front of Toll's house, it's pretty messy.
it's
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Very bad,
Yeah.
yeah.
very bad,
Yeah.
and that's always
And
had a water problem.
and the-
On the other hand,
And-
if they fix the road, people will drive too fast, so.
Yeah, six, one half dozen the other.
Debbie and Billy.
Well, it's true.
I know it's true.
Yeah.
I know
Some
it's
places
true.
you go, people, they don't want them to fix the street,
That's right.
because people
they
drive
will.
too fast. It's a
Yeah.
cut through. And I've known towns and places, they don't want them to fix the road because
Yeah.
it slows the people down.
Yeah. And of course, with South Street closed, they get a lot more cars up
It's
there.
made
than
it a
usual.
really,
Get a lot more cars up there than usual,
Yeah, no
including me
kidding.
2 or 3 times a day.
Including me.
So do
Yeah, I
I.
take that way, yeah. I go that way.
because depending on where you're going,
Yeah.
it's harder to get out of Pleasant Street certain times of the day.
Oh, my
and
God,
I-
yes.
I don't go up Pleasant Street in
At all.
mid-afternoon to into the evening.
Yeah.
Just
So-
isn't worth it.
Just back to Memorial Day. Do you know what the celebration is? Whether they're gonna do they're gonna do the parade?
There's no parade. They are,
Doing the veterans thing.
I talked to Jane this morning,
Yeah,
and she said they are gonna do, they are gonna do things at each cemetery. I wanna say
Okay.
starting at something like 9:30. And then they're gonna go down to the school and have more of a ceremony and speeches and stuff down there.
Where
Uh,
the plaques are in the building.
And that may be 11 o'clock-ish, but I guess they haven't set a time. I suggested it would be highly desirable to set a time for when that was gonna be and see if they could get some people to come.
right.
Is that gonna be that's Monday, right?
That's next Monday, yeah. Yeah, so they are doing the short things that they've been doing, and they are having a bit more of a ceremony down at the school after the other things, after they've done to the cemeteries. But that way they're in a place where there's parking and space for people to gather and not be in
Yeah.
the street.
So we don't know what order they're gonna visit the cemeteries, whether it be south, north.
I think
and-
it's South North Center.
Yeah, that
That's
sounds
what they
right.
have been doing, and I think that's still probably the case. But they do have to, they're gonna have their biggest ceremony down at the school. At the memorial school, so. I guess that's all I gotta say about that. Well, it sounds like things ought to look pretty good though with all that
Yeah,
junky stuff cleaned up. It'll help a lot.
very, very much so.
Be a lot
It's
easier for them
excellent.
to mow, I know that.
And the season will be, the grass can come in all those
Oh,
places
It'll
and
come
stuff.
back, it'll come back in.
It'll come back in all those places where the shrubs were, and by the fall, it'll probably look quite good, even better.
Now, what about overseeding? Is that them or is that us? Because we could be hand casting in the bare spots and really,
Yeah, I think you'd be better off in the fall.
well, you typically do it spring and fall.
Yeah, if you got, yeah, but.
Not,
You
I
got-
mean, just saying.
You
I
got
mean,
water, if you got
I
no
mean,
water.
we've just had, if we had a meeting last month, we
Well, we've got,
We- could have addressed it.
yeah,
But do we have a budget for seed? I mean, is that?
we've got
It's just a part of the
money.
budget.
Oh, yeah, we've got money.
Yeah,
Part of the budget.
yeah.
We've got money, and we can do other work, if there's other work we wanna get done before the end of June, or things we wanna buy, we can do it.
Yeah, well, I'm
We're
gonna,
we haven't spent,
a lot of money.
Well, would it be,
Well,
would it
close
be
to all our money.
smart to buy, a
Bag of seed.
50-pound bag of seed now, so we have it, so we could cast it around? I think it'd be smart.
Well, I'm just about out of the seed I had, so
Yeah, let's get a
Well,
bag of
that's
seed.
fine, that is perfectly fine, you can do that.
I'll get a bag of seed.
We've got certainly money to buy any materials of that sort, and, do we need to buy a new weed whacker? Because we lost one being stolen. Because we can't, I think we've got money to do that with. too.
Yeah, well, depends, because I think they pretty much use their own, they weren't using that anyways. I will talk to them.
Oh,
I
okay.
will talk to Fred about that.
Yeah. If
He
there's
wants
something
us to purchase
We-
one that
we
they
can
can
do it.
use, but I'm not gonna purchase if they're not gonna use and have it sit there.
No,
Right.
there's no need to.
No,
And I was by, and they were using theirs down there. Somebody was down there doing the front of the, along the wall was this week when I went by. But yeah, now is the time to
Think about stuff.
take on anything like that. I'm not worried about even with the plants and so forth
The
that we've got
tires.
to pay for. We've still got money enough so we can do any of the things that we need to for
I'm gonna go get some hand tools, because
some what?
hand
Hand
tools,
tools.
like shovels and
Yes,
edger,
because
they're
we
getting.
lost that stuff, yeah.
Well, no, we didn't,
Oh.
but they're starting to get,
Oh, they're, yeah.
they're tired.
they're getting tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's perfectly fine to do that. Of course, we don't have Robinsons anymore.
Ocean State Job Lot had some good-looking things.
Yeah, but you don't have a charge there, and then if the tax you pay, you don't get paid back for.
Oh, how about Tractor Supply?
Don't have a charge there either. I'll talk to Fred about, because they have a charge at Lowe's,
Oh,
so I'll.
perfectly good. Yep.
See if I can put something on his account.
Put something on his account and we'll pay for it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Perfect.
great.
Perfect.
But we do need to deal with the things that we lost from the thefts and make sure we got things working that way. And we had the specs and all for the new mower, and that passed at town meeting,
Yeah.
so we can work on getting
A bid ready,
getting a bid ready so that it can be,
sent
we're
out.
ready to deal with it the 1st of July.
Yep.
We had the spec all done
Yeah.
in order to get the estimate for the thing.
Yes.
And we can, if we talk to them, we can probably get a couple of other bids too.
We're
on the
gonna
same
need a
thing.
couple other bids,
Yeah.
and I guess you have to send it out. I talked to Kristen and
Talk to Kristen and.
see how it has to be. It has to be written out a certain way, and it has to
Yeah.
go, I think you can't specifically name a particular mower, but you can spec it out to the mower you want.
Yes,
Make the spec so that it fits that mower. But they can still end up with something else that's similar, comparable.
really, we can't specify the walker?
I don't think that's gonna sit down with her and Kristen and make, and because I think that's what she told me. You can't, if you get a bid on a, and I could be wrong, but if you get on a bid on a different mower and it's less, and it's basically, it's the same specs, you have to go with that mower. I'll find out more. I'm gonna find out more about that.
I mean, again, it has to do with the size of the mower and what it'll fit in some of the places that
Absolutely.
we use it. I note that they bring different mowers to do different things with, and that's no
So,
big problem.
so the logical reason is, so for instance, if it was a Ford and we had a Ford dealer in town, you can't say, oh, we want a Ford truck and then run down and spend your money at the town dealership, but, it's just not, it's never been okay for a really long time. But, what about the possibility of product reviews? If there's, you know, a Kawasaki that's a great mower, and then there's a, you know, Echo that's, nobody likes it. It's got the same exact specs, but it doesn't, the Consumer Reports or other township reports that don't buy this, it's junk.
Well, that's what
So-
I have to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can sometimes make a different choice for some a reason like that, but you gotta be careful what it is.
Right.
What your reason is.
Yeah.
one of the things we want to be careful about is the maximum width.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely. Well, that's
Yeah,
why part of
yeah.
the spec is you spec
Yeah.
it out.
We
Has to
don't
have
want something that's a lot
nothing
more.
bigger than a 48-inch
Yeah,
deck or a
that's
52-inch
right.
deck,
Yeah,
whatever,
that's right.
whatever it is.
Whatever that deck size is, we don't want something bigger than that, because we've got too many places it won't get into. When we had a bigger one, we couldn't use it. in
Not
some
every
places.
place, there was a few places you couldn't, but
Yeah. So that's another aspect of that.
Yep.
And we did talk to Fred about it in the fall, when we were
Yes.
working on this.
and I talked to one of
And
the
he
other,
he was happy with what we had and thought that that was what we wanted.
he
just
liked the
more of
design, he liked the design of
Yeah.
it where everything is
Yeah.
contained.
Yeah,
And I talked to one of the other guys up there that does a lot of the work on them too.
yeah,
Picked his brain too, so.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, we remember you did a thorough job. It
Yeah,
was
I
excellent.
remember we talked to those
Yeah.
folks, the people that are doing the work these days, to know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
So that's fine, and of course, the old mower is ancient at this point,
well, it's 25 years old.
yeah. And we worked it really hard for a long time.
Quite a while.
We got it used, but
Yeah,
we,
yeah, yeah.
we worked it really hard for a long
It
time.
was well loved.
It's
And
got-
so it's,
It's time.
It's on its second engine, so.
yeah.
So, well, one more, what about gravestone cleaning? Should we,
Well, that's another thing that
I mean, for next meeting,
Yeah,
should
we
we,
can talk about
should
that
we
more.
buy some supplies for that?
I've got a few things. I've got a few things, enough for a couple of people to work. And I have cleaned 3 of those stones on the Veterans Lot in South Berlin, so that you'll see the 3 in the middle are really white.
Yeah, I saw those the other
Now-
day when we were down there. I showed that to the guys too.
When I started that in the first place, the right-hand stone was the whitest one in the group. And
Now it's yellow
now
compared to the other ones.
now it doesn't look as good, and the one on the left still is kind of dark. But the third one, the second one in from the left, that one, after I cleaned it, was still gray. It was awful. And it's just sat there all winter, and now it's white.
Maybe you
That
need.
stuff keeps working. It
No.
keeps working on them.
So you did all 3
I
and,
did those 3, yeah,
interesting.
in the fall, in last year. And I was.
You snuck over there without me.
Keep going down. I keep thinking I'm gonna go down and do the others, and I haven't got it done.
Well, let's get a
But we'll
Well,
do-
little
we'll
group
get
of
'em-
us.
We'll
Let's-
get going and do
Does the-
some,
Excellent.
Does
and of
the-
course, we got loads to do both in South and in
In
the
the
center.
center,
Does
sure.
the temperature affect that, how it works, Barry?
Yeah, but not, you're not supposed to do it when it's, I don't know, below 50 or something.
Okay.
But it keeps on, once you've
It
done the
keeps
scraping the lichen off and
Yeah.
applying the stuff, and then it keeps on working.
It keeps
Yeah, but I'm
working.
just saying. I
It's,
didn't
which
know.
is cool. It
Yeah.
keeps,
Something you can't do in the winter,
not
No,
really.
you can't do it in the winter.
and you have to be careful early spring or fall, so it's kind of
Yeah.
can be a
It doesn't,
somewhat of a limited window.
I don't think it's a big problem if it gets cool overnight, but you don't want it down to freezing. No,
I
in the
think I
time
remember
period when you're
him
doing it.
saying May to October.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was very, at any rate, we've got the stuff.
Yeah,
Most of it is in the curatorial building at the historical. I've got one bucket, one thing out that's, I think, in my car at this point.
so it's the plastic putty knives and the brushes, and
Yeah,
we should probably have some small containers that
yeah.
people can dip.
Most of the time you can do it fine with the brushes.
Right.
And, but it just is, yeah, no, we can work on all of that. And of course, the big monuments down in South Berlin that need the same thing, my God, they're all black.
Oh, yeah.
Big white things that there's several of those that would be wonderful if they were cleaned up.
Right.
And we'll, if we can decide to go do it, we go do some, that's all. And if we can work on getting some other people interested, and if they do, we can turn them loose on some of it. want to make sure they're under some supervision when they get started, so they know what they're doing. But other than that, it's no big deal. It's just that you don't want anything abrasive.
No, we don't want to set people loose with their ideas about what to do, but what I thought we would do is,
Yes,
you know,
yes, yeah.
is you would pick a date,
Yeah.
and then we would go and you'd show
Have
us
a
how
few
to do
people,
it, and
have a
then we
few
could
people,
either,
yeah.
you know, continue that
Yeah.
day, or we could reconvene
And-
another day,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and, you know, let's make that happen, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Before it gets perilously hot. Let's not
Yes.
do it when it's awful.
No, you don't want to be.
Because
up
you don't
there.
want it when it's gonna just put it on and it's gonna evaporate in the heat. You wanna do, this is like temperate season weather.
No,
This is-
interestingly though, if the stuff is there, it will, I mean, some of the time, they will say, do it, clean it, wash it off, and then if you just leave it that way, it'll still work some. And if it really still doesn't look awful good, spray some stuff on it and leave the stuff right on it.
Reapply it, yeah.
Reapply
Leave
and do that and let it go. But, I mean, all of those things are possibilities. But the big thing is to get some of the white things so they look white, because it makes a difference. And I did also, Jane Sawyer, we talked about the monument. There's a big monument on a double lot there that is her family,
Itself?
over by the driveway.
Itself.
That she does a bunch of
Yes.
geraniums on. And she actually talked to the people in Clinton about doing something, even getting something different to put over it, because you couldn't read it. But I cleaned one side of it, and she saw that. She said, "That's fine."
Yep.
I did clean one side of that one because I think the part that I cleaned was granite, but it wasn't so much for white as it was to get the stuff off it.
The lichen and stuff,
So you
so you
could
can
see
read it.
so you could see the writing on it. And I cleaned one side of it as a trial to see how it would work, and it seems to be fine. So you can use it a lot of ways. Anything that doesn't look good, you can use it.
Right,
And
cool. Very good.
It's good stuff. Anyway, and that's a biologic material. It's not supposed to be harmful to the
Yes.
plants and the grass and
It's
all that.
non-toxic, yeah.
Timmy Wheeler was asking me about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's got some down there that he would like to clean, and I told him.
Yeah.
And he asked something, I said.
Bleach is used sometimes, but it's not good for the stone, and it's not good for the ground.
Bleach, you can just color the stone.
Yeah.
Um,
And this stuff, this will accomplish the same thing, and it doesn't.
Cause
It doesn't, it's not harmful to anyone.
don't they use it for the National Historical?
Oh,
Registry?
yes, oh, yeah.
'Cause
The
that's what
the national cemeteries use it.
Okay, that's what cause he asked, and
The national cemeteries use it, yeah.
Yeah,
cause I
Cool.
guess Cordelia's stone is a mess, and he
Oh,
wanted to
yeah,
kinda clean
yeah.
that up.
Those white marble stones. Now, we've got pictures that we took 50 years ago, and some of those stones looked very white in those days, but they've gotten, so they're all black and gray now.
yeah, we
And,
need to do this. I'm excited,
and,
To do it.
and
because it's gonna be fun, and it's
down
gonna
in Westport,
be
where the stuff is made, they've given it to the town, and they've gone through all the cemeteries and cleaned all the stones. You go by the cemetery, they look beautiful,
Yeah,
because the stones
Yeah.
are all clean.
oh, yeah,
Well, cheapest advertising they could ever have.
Yeah, it really is. It
Yeah.
really is.
Cause all you go down here, you wanna see, go look over there, that's what the stuff
Yeah.
does, right
Right.
there.
That's what we're doing. And so we'll make some more progress. We'll make some progress on it this season. Yeah.
good.
Do we have anything else this week?
No,
I can't think of anything else. I'm
Oh.
excited about the bushes itself, that's
Oh,
awesome.
that's excellent. That's excellent. And we've been having some burials and some people looking for graves and
Yep.
all of that. We've been doing a little business that way, so it's good, this activity. And in the last couple of years, we've had numbers of people that have bought graves and put a stone on them, so they've got
everything's ready.
things ready, done ahead of time, so they don't have to, they know that when they get to that point, they won't have
Unlike yours
so
truly.
much to take care of.
Well,
Very interesting how much of that.
Everett said, I don't want the kids, it'll be all done for the kids.
Yeah.
All they gotta
Yeah.
do is put it in the
It's very nice.
last person, last date.
Yeah,
That's all you gotta do.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
And hopefully they remember to do it.
right?
And how. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All those.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous?